Hello ladies and gentlemen, Stag here, and welcome back to episode 21 of the Targaryen Dynasty. Now, it's been about 4 or so years since last we played, and I've skipped ahead, of course, 4 years. I did debate in starting off the rebellion, like, fairly soon, like, immediately, but I decided to actually do a bit of recording. There was a little rebellions I thought I'd cover, and they'd be easy enough, they'd be easy to be won, so I thought I'd show them. And also, it does give a good point for me to go through and explain a bit about what's happened in the last 4 years, as a lot of the information will be quite useful in setting up and serving to understand what this big rebellion's going to lead up to, essentially. So, I thought I'd go through and explain. So, a couple things I've kicked off just recently. Maelor was trying to have someone killed, and the council of the king found out fairly quickly, and we set about trying to have him arrested, but unfortunately he has now risen up in rebellion. What I do, who knows. The High Septon has also rebelled against the throne once again. He was found to have conspirating and trying to incite Lord Verano to revolt. I'll explain why he's the lord of that quite soon. But yeah, the High Septon has now rebelled against us for the... How many times is it now? The second time, I think. Yeah, we did kill the other guy. Did we kill another guy? I can't remember now. I think we didn't remember. There wasn't another rebellion we had, I think. I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah, the amount of rebellions we keep having is just, with the High Septon, is just hilarious. But yeah, so that's kicking off. And basically, we've sent word to the Reach isn't doing too great right now. The Pox is just literally fucking with the realm right now. Well, not us, but just the Westlands and the Reach is just hit hard by the Pox. Jaehaerys sent word to Lady Parent Rhaena, or mainly Maegor, who really is the regent. I don't really know why this guy's the regent, but that's just CK2 being silly. Law speaking, he's in charge, basically. So he sent word to Maegor to rally up a force, and while Maegor's also... Jaehaerys is also coming down as well to get involved. Oh, shit. That's not what I wanted to do. I've knocked my keyboard over, and I knocked it to the point where I think I knocked my keyboard with my mouse, and it just not tabbed out for some reason. Whatever. Okay. So yes, we sent an army. Jaehaerys is coming south as well, and half the force is going to go over to... Well, Jaehaerys wants to deal with the Sept personally. He has a date with the High Sept. He wants to burn it, basically. Jaehaerys is a changed man in the last few years. A recent event kicked it into action, basically. But Jaehaerys' cruelty is only getting worse. His paranoia is getting worse. He's more and more depressed and stressed, and that just isn't... His mood lately isn't great. His relationship with most people isn't great, and his wife and... Well, they're not getting on that well. But regardless, Jaehaerys doesn't care that much. He's not in it for the long run. He's in it to kill. He doesn't care anymore. So leading the force south will be, he wants to he's sick of Baelor being kind and all that, so he wants to show Baelor what to do with traitors. Lady Cassandra, we're going for the King's Garden a bit as well, but yeah. Cassandra, he doesn't trust Aemon, but I take Aemon anyway to show Aemon that he is the king. Next going over here will be led by Donald Stokeworth. Actually, no, Cassandra makes sense for her to hold it. So she'll take command, and then we'll get some more commanders in this. Well, can we? No, we can't. No. Lady Commander will march to Farron's Cross, and the army here will go obviously down to the High Sept to kick his ass. So it's probably a good idea to go through a few things of what's going on. So Jaehaerys he's not doing that great. He's depressed and stressed due to a family event, and I'll go through that in a sec. But first of all, it's probably a good idea to go through and explain a bit about the Beyond the Wall. So right now, there's not a whole lot going on Beyond the Wall, but Lord Paramount Grolaf is still around. He is known as a shield breaker among his vassals. He recently had a kid, Lady Anessa, and Grolaf for a while has been campaigning for independence for Beyond the Wall. The king has mostly ignored him, pretty much. But, yeah. Grolaf is well aware he'd never get independence from King Jaehaerys. There is hope that Baelor may heed him, and he's struck up a bit of a bond with Baelor recently. Not quite enough for them to be friends, though, but, yeah. But Grolaf is still around. He's still Lord Paramount. He's still quite powerful. Most of the vassals, apart from these guys, like him, kind of. But there's a lot going on here. What's going on here, actually? Yeah, he's doing some tyrannical actions lately. Oh my god, wow. Holy shit. Vassal appearing -7. Okay, he's not very much loved by his vassals, but regardless, Grolaf wants independence, basically. Moving south, we had an issue where, for some reason, this ruin, they kept being the Night's Watch commander for some reason. Very strange. Right, and the next bit is the Kingdom of the Night's Watch. So, Lucas finally kicked the bucket at the age of 83, which is crazy. Okay. I'm pretty sure, isn't Aegon like 85? Fucking hell. God, he's still alive, somehow. Yeah. So, Lucas died. And in the funeral, a few events kicked off. But not quite. No, that's a different event entirely. But eventually, Morano became good friends with Jaehaerys. I won't go too much into that friendship right now, but they're friends, basically. And Morano actually saved Jaehaerys' life due to, well, when they were having the funeral at the Night's Watch, a balcony came down, and Morano flew out and just leaped out of the air, and pushed the king off the balcony, and the balcony collapsed, basically. Saved the king's life, and Jaehaerys didn't really know how to repay him, but obviously Morano and them were friends. They were sort of friends before. I'll get onto that a little bit later on, but essentially, Morano was granted the Night's Watch. Morano had great interest in holding the Night's Watch and the wall and whatnot, for reasons that I won't go into now. But he has great interest in holding the wall. He also doesn't like wildlings very much, so yeah, bit of conflict there between them and the wall. And so Night's King, I don't know why it's called Night's King, but in my mind, he's the Lord Paramount of that region, not the Night's King. I don't understand why it's the Night's King, but there you go. Lord Paramount of the wall, basically. But yes, Morano saved the king, helped him out, and has now got granted the wall because of it, as a sort of Jaehaerys wasn't really sure if he was going to reward him with anything so far, but he got on well with Morano, and Morano seemed quite capable and well to defend the wall. He also doesn't like Jaehaerys isn't a massive fan of wildlings. He still remembers that his sister was murdered by the Lord Paramount Cain before, and doesn't really like the wildlings that much. So he's happy to have someone that doesn't like the wildlings either to hold the wall, hopefully keeping the wildlings further away from the kingdom as possible. So that's Morano. I'll go on to his little backstory and information about him later on. Moving to the south, Lady Paramount Maegor, who is known as the Tickler for some reason. I'm not really sure where that nickname came from. She's in love with the Bloodfire dude, so that's interesting. Wait, where is he? Oh, he's in... okay. Maybe that's why he's in charge of that. But yes. So she's still Lady Paramount. Her daughter is married to Sir Daemon of Waters, who is the brother of Aegon. Aegon the Cruel, as some call him these days. Lord Maekar, who is the heir, who recently got genius and attractive, so he's pretty good. And you got Lord Merys as well. Their relationship is not going well. Rival. Yeah, it's not a great family relationship. Let's just get that out of the way. But yeah, no doubt Maegor kind of blames I think it was Aaron that organised that marriage, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. So maybe it's his fault. But yeah, Maegor is still around. She's the Lady of the North, still a bit cruel and craven and all that business. But yeah, moving on to the Vale. Now the Vale right now, recently her husband got granted this. But Lyria is still in charge. She likes the king quite a bit. Protecting me from an enemy. I can't remember, when did we do that? Oh, right, yes, I think that was because of I think you arrested some people before. But yeah, she's around. Does quite like the king. So you could say she's quite loyal to the Targaryens. Although, and Jeremy is sort of siblings to Aegon and Daro. So maybe we'll see what happens there. Maybe Jeremy may try and push them to go the other way right now, really. But we'll see. All be revealed in time. Moving on to the Iron Isles. So right now you have Lord Benarin, who's still quite loyal to the throne, really, because he was granted the Lord Paramountcy of the Iron Isles, so he's quite loyal to the throne. His son, Lord Crom, is nearly of age. He's a bit of a tyrant, so he's done a few iffy things, but Benarion is still quite loyal to the throne at this time. He is the master of ships as well. Into the Riverlands, Lady Paramount Belena, who currently is 11, so right now I assume her mother's, or wouldn't, no, probably not, because her mother's married off there. I can imagine it's probably a political move by Lady Joeyus. Joeyus? I can't remember pronounce that. Well, but Lady Joeyus probably moved her out of the way. But yeah. Well, she died a while ago. Oh yes, did I notice that? I can't remember if I mentioned that or not, but she's dead. So Lady Joeyus is now regent, and so Ryan is also involved. He's also friends with the king. So, are they friends? Maybe? I'm not sure, maybe not. But yeah, the Muds are quite loyal to the throne, and also she's betrothed to Aegon, one of Aegon's sons. And Melissa, who is their, well, hunchback daughter, so that's not amazing for them, probably, but there you go. I doubt you inherit, but Lady Joeyus is sort of regent and in charge of the Riverlands, really. So yes, up here, the Whispers. So Lord Daemon was actually assassinated by... who is it? So I think he killed him. Yeah. Darden, who killed Daemon. Most of the evidence... well, originally Verano thought, okay, he's been killed. And Verano investigated. And eventually, all the lead... it led back to his father, Sherian, killing... hang on. It led back to... hang on. Sherian murdering his father. Safe to say, Verano didn't take too kindly to that, and had Lord Sherian imprisoned and then fed to his dragon. He is now riding Smaug, by the way. He's friends with Aegon and his brother. Verano, when Daemon was killed, Verano was still fairly young, although not as young, and so was Maron. But Aegon took them under their wing and tutored them, and was really nice to them, and also became quite good friends with them. I don't know if his friendship is still the same with... no. But Aegon's quite friends with Verano. And obviously Daemon was eventually planning to get Aegon on the throne, which just sort of didn't quite go the right way. He did marry Rhae, who was his sister, keeping their bloodlines strong. But unfortunately Daemon was dead before that even their marriage could be consummated. But Rhae, in the time they spent together, loved each other quite a lot. But yeah, Lord Daemon's death, and Verano took to avenging his father's death very quickly. Some say he was pushed by Aegon to deliver justice quite well. Aegon, I noticed lately, has been having quite a few illnesses. He got cancer again, which he which we got rid of because I didn't want Aegon to die of cancer, because I thought that'd be kind of shit and that'd be kind of So yeah. So yeah, Jaehaerys didn't really give a shit about Daemon dying. His half-brother had sort of betrayed him in some ways and distanced himself from the family anyway. So Jaehaerys just wasn't interested. And it led to Verano becoming more and more pally with Aegon. I think Aegon and... no, the rivals were some. I think I did tag over to Aeron because I wanted to do some stuff with him. So maybe I think Aeron's rivals with those guys. So... Verano spent a bit of time in Dragonstone, but there was a time when they spent a bit more time in the capital with Morano and Verano, back when Daemon was sort of hand of the king at one point. Was that right? It was around the time, there was a time at some point where they were in the capital, and at the time Aeron was around, and Aeron and Morano did not get on very well at all. They always used to rival with each other and be who could be the better fighter and whatnot. Right now, as you can see, well, they're both pretty good. And eventually it got to the point where Aeron and Morano got into a fight. And they got into a fight, and it got to the point where Aeron at this time, who was was he older or younger? Oh, they're about the same age, actually. Yeah, they're about the same age. And it got to the point... yeah, are they? Yeah. Yeah, it got to the point where eventually Aeron got really fucking vicious with it and actually cut out his eye. And as you can imagine, they hated each other for a while. Daemon didn't. I don't think it's difficult to say because Daemon, of course, died. I'm trying to piece together where exactly this happened in the because yeah, they were both children. It happened in King's Landing, and there was a time where Morano got his eye cut out, and I think Daemon demanded blood, and along with Verano, and eventually Jaehaerys did. I think it was either Aeron or Jaehaerys, and Jaehaerys did nothing, and basically said an eye for an eye. Well, no, he said his Aeron was dead. What am I on about? No, Aeron cut his eye out. The True Drakes demanded blood and justice, and Jaehaerys said no. He insisted that Morano was the one who started it, and then Aeron said Morano started it as well. So yeah, Morano, as you can imagine, did not take too kind to this. So he's now rivals with Aeron, and that friendship any chance of friendship has gone, and it leads again as to why the True Drakes and the Targaryens are starting to fall out much more rapidly than previously imagined. But yeah, Jaehaerys defended his son, even though who is it? Yeah, Verano demanded an eye from Aeron, but the king said no and had them removed from the court immediately. So yeah, safe to say, relationship with the king wasn't very high. And then Daemon dying also didn't really help things, and yeah. So, yeah, bit of a backstory there. Sorry if I sort of made it up. I am sort of making some of this stuff on the spot. I've had the ideas circling around my head for ages on how am I going to do this, how am I going to set this rebellion up and whatnot. And one of these bits about Morano getting his eye cut out by Aeron was one of the things I wanted to bring into the story. What Morano will do next is unknown. Safe to say Morano is very, very much based upon Aemond's One Eye in House of Dragon. So, yeah. Moving on to Dragonstone. So, Aegon, who's now is a cruel, not the best king in the world, why he's called cruel, but Aegon in his later years has got more and more impatient for the throne, and is now trying to push things forward a bit more, to bring forth his claim and whatnot. His son, Viserys, who has now come of age, well, a little bit longer than that, is now married to Lady Lyessa the Fire? The Fire? Really? Okay. That's interesting. So yeah. Yeah, Viserys is now of age. He's now integrated elusive shadow and a skilled fighter. He also has dragon dreams as well, so he's quite interesting. He's also gone the Valyrian faith. He's very, into the Valyrian faith. He's currently in love. Well, he's married to Lyessa, my granddaughter. He's also married to Lady Magiel, is his auntie, and then his Hera, his aunt as well. So he's sort of married a load of people. Vaena is his daughter. So Viserys is of age. Yeah, they married sister and brother. And you got Rhaenys as well, who's also around. So yeah, that's the family on that side. Moving on to Corlys, who is still very much loyal to his brother, of course. Despite being a bit dishonourable and lunatic, he's still loyal. He's got Aenar, Daeron, Princess Dana, and Daenerys, and Maegor. He has quite a few kids. Got Lady Ray, who's currently still widowed right now and living out the court. Some say she might be trying to seduce Verano or his brother, but to perhaps get them more loyal with the throne. Maybe more so. They're already friends, but more so Morano, as he's not really too keen on the whole thing. Morano being friends with Jaehaerys is an interesting thing. Now, really, Jaehaerys and Morano, their friendship was more of an accident, really. It was a bit odd. Jaehaerys, Morano and Aeron obviously fell out and had the issue with the whole Morano having his eye cut out. But over the years, Morano kept returning, and I didn't like Aeron at all. He became more and more friends with Jaehaerys, to the point where Jaehaerys, who was a little lonely, accepted his friendship quite a lot. Also, the accident beyond the wall, not beyond the wall, but in the wall, where the balcony fell apart, was actually a plan who was plotted, who actually was set up by Verano. Now, Morano is actually trying to get involved, and Morano's a little bit of the sort of doesn't listen to his brother, doesn't listen to his family. He is a family person, but he doesn't listen to his family. Morano set up this plan to get more friendly with the king. He set up the whole thing with the Shadow Tower, the balcony being loose. He made sure the balcony was loose when he arrived, because he actually arrived in beyond the wall, at the wall before anyone else, and he made sure the balcony was still loose where the king would be eventually standing, and him saving the king was all part of a scheme. And eventually he became more and more interested in the wall, so he would be given the wall to eventually give him and his family more power. Morano is very aware that Verano at some point is going to start a war to put Aegon on the throne. Morano, in a way, sort of wishes to have the throne himself, not really so much his distant relative Aegon. He wants the throne himself. Right now, he's playing the loyalty card and being loyal to his brother, and likely will fight with his brother. But for now, Morano has his own ambitions. But his ambition and friendship with Jaehaerys is sort of almost as Morano's little game, really. More on that later on, I suppose, and you'll find out more on how that friendship will develop in the next big segment of the big war to come, I suppose. I don't really have a name for this war. I guess the second Dance of Dragons would be a fitting name, I suppose, as it will involve a lot of dragons against dragons. So it would make sense for it to be called the second Dance of Dragons. But yeah. And then you've got Damon Waters, who I point out is actually friends with Aaron. That's interesting. Got Miguel, who is married to Viserys, yeah. Hera and Tansa, who is someone that Viserys must have had an affair with on the Iron Isles, I think. Which is interesting. Moving on over to this other side of the family, got Aegon, who unfortunately died long ago. Rhaena, the Gold Dragon, who died a long time ago. And Valyrian, interestingly, was actually killed recently. Aaron of the Red, that's who he's married to. But yeah, Valyrian got beheaded quite a while ago, actually. I don't know if I'd mentioned that or I must have missed that, I'm not sure. But Valyrian is dead. Beheaded by that. Volantis right now is fucking all over the place. Look at that. What the hell's going on? Dothraki are invading and it's all over the place. Both of his kids are dead. Illyria is dead. Grey Plague got them. And then this woman's still alive. Silara, my cousin, who currently has a rivalry with the king. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Her son actually is dead. Slayed by Lara and Mega during the trial by tribal combat, was that? Yeah. Baylor, the Bastard of the Red Keep. Yeah, I've already covered that. And the Bloodfires, who we're having a bit of trouble with at the moment. So Lena died, well, last year. Maelor, who's now having trouble. So the Bloodfires, I don't know if they're going to be quite long for the world. Maybe this side of the family might be okay. One that's a legitimized bastard might be. Well, no, he was a legitimized bastard. Oh, okay. Maybe we should get, maybe Meili's Bloodfire would have been better in the end. Right. Let's go back over the family tree again. Rhaenys, yeah, who got murdered not that long ago. Roran is dead, actually. He died of cancer, sadly. He lost his leg, I think, and hand. I think that's trying to save it, but I think that just made it worse. And Lord Germond of Harlaw is in charge there now. Moving on to Visenya's side of the family, had Orys, who died under suspicious circumstances. So Maegor's still in the reach. He's actually homosexual, so maybe he's not. I don't know if he's like in a relationship with this guy. I may possibly kicked off in the console event, maybe, just to add a bit of flavour to there. But Daenerys hasn't had any kids with him, so it only makes sense that Maegor just isn't interested. So Ryan, yeah, we know him. We talked about him earlier. Lord Harris of the Southern Stepstones. He's still around, still refusing to get married, but whatever. And Vagon, who at the moment doesn't like the king at all. Oh yeah, because I didn't give him a title and he now hates my guts. So yeah, he's now married to Rhaenyra, who is the heir to Dor. I gave Rhaenyra the Westerlands, and I'll talk a bit more about that later on. But yeah, we'll come back to that. Moving on to Jaehaerys' line, so we've got Lysara, who's married to Lord Paramount to Caspar the Red Turtle, who doesn't like the king right now. There's a bit of issues with the Estamont right now. I can't remember if he's actually hates anybody in the... No, he doesn't. But yeah, the Estamonts, in my mind, definitely are not really... They're not loyal to the throne. They're more loyal to others, you might say. I can't quite remember if there's any marriages in line. There was. I'll talk about this later on, but there was a marriage with Aaron. But that went down the pan, and I'll explain a bit more about it later. Baelor, who's married to Aegon. Oh yeah, we know that. Rhaena, who recently tamed Heartfire, and I'll talk about that dragon in a bit. So we've got Rhaenyra, Delona, and Soria. I did change this woman's name to Rhaenyra because it sort of fit. Now Baelor, and this is also one of the reasons. Wait, let me quickly make sure I've covered over here. Oh yeah, it's Corlys. Yeah, I've done that. Covered that. Aeron, I'll cover that in a second. But Baelor, Aeron, who you may remember, was actually force trained by Jaehaerys, who unfortunately got a infection, which unfortunately led to him dying of said infection. And since then, Jaehaerys went fucking just crazy, depressed, stressed. Like he just Aeron dying was almost certainly the king's fault. Jaehaerys pushed him. He wanted him to be a good fighter, and he pushed him too hard to the point where he wounded Aeron. And because of Jaehaerys' actions, Aeron died. So, while many people don't really blame Jaehaerys that much, Jaehaerys blames himself a lot. And that's also partly why Jaehaerys is sort of kind of like not in the best place right now. So Jaehaerys is now the, well, eventual person to sit the throne. He is still betrothed to Lady Paramount Rhaena at the time. Right now, Visenya is still around. Recently, he had 2 kids, Jacaerys and Melee's twins with Daenerys. So they're having quite a few kids. He's also pregnant again. So, yeah, they're having plenty of kids. Now, on to Aeron. Now, Aeron, as you may remember, was married to Belissa. He's got a lot of friends and very interesting character. But Belissa, for some reason, decided to sleep with somebody else. So not really actually lovers, which is an odd thing. But she slept with Jorah Galeros, a Lysini guy, who was actually married to someone else now, so that's interesting. But they had a kid. Well, I think he was married before, but they had a kid together, Larissa Storm. And Aeron, as you can imagine, basically flipped the fuck out. Also, at the time this happening, Aerys, who had sickly, also died sickly, which also sent Aeron into a fit of rage, pretty much. And that's why he's basically pretty stressed out. And eventually he got a divorce, and divorced Belissa and had her exiled to Estamont. And also, Caspar the Red Turtle, this is actually his... yeah, his... niece, yeah. He believed that Aeron actually pushed Belissa to sleeping with somebody else. So he completely blames Aeron for what Belissa did. Belissa and Caspar get along quite well. They don't... well, she doesn't like him that much, but Caspar and Belissa get along quite well. And also, and Caspar and Aeron, he's not very happy with Aeron. Again, I've clicked the button again. It's knocked me out. That's totally my fault, by the way. I keep fearing I'm going to do it, so I'm just going to do a quick save. No, I can't do a quick save. Oh, it's not Control S, is it? No, wrong game. But yeah, he blames Aeron for pushing away his niece into the arms of another. But yeah, and Aeron now blames Estamont for taking up the side of that. And yeah, there's not... Estamont and the Targaryens of Stepstones aren't particularly happy with each other. Now, Aeron got onto some more shenanigans. One shenanigans, he was basically touring the Three Daughters, just exploring, having fun, whatever. He's also favoured by R'hllor and has quite a few character traits and whatnot. He was in the Three Daughters and came into the contact of the High Magister's niece, Nessoria. And Nessoria and Aeron formed quite a strong bond. Also, almost to the fact that Aeron went up to the High Magister and asked that he'd marry Nessoria. Now, the High Magister isn't particularly very happy. He doesn't particularly like the Targaryens, especially with the whole Daemon Targaryen when he attacked the Stepstones and all that conflict recently, and also the fact that the Targaryens have now taken the Stepstones and now control quite a vast amount of trade through the Narrow Sea. So Lane refused and said no. I will not. I would sooner. What was the good thing he would have said? Magister Lane said, "I would sooner let the cancer kill me than allow my niece to marry a Targaryen." Aeron, as you can imagine, didn't take very kindly to that. Aeron was tempted to perhaps kill High Magister Lane himself, but he knew that wouldn't get him anywhere. So instead, him and Nessaria, who Nessaria clearly loved him, and they both loved each other, decide, okay, fuck what this High Magistrate said, and said, fuck it, I'm gonna take her. A bit like a Rhaegar and Lyanna situation, where he just took Lyanna, and Aeron did the same, and he took Nessaria. Now, unfortunately, some blood got in the way, and unfortunately, Nessaria's sibling, who is a bastard of her mother? Yeah. Jaehaer tried to stop Aeron, which didn't go well. Nessaria tried to convince her brother, half brother, to say no, she wants to go, whatnot. She loves Aeron, stuff like that, and Jaehaer decided to just take that out of context completely and say, no, I didn't believe that. Aeron has convinced you to say whatever you want so you would go away with him. And Jaehaer eventually got to the point, got way out of his line, and challenged Aeron to a duel. Aeron tried to talk him out of it and say, no, I'm not trying to... Yeah, I love Nessaria, and I don't want to take her from you forcefully. I'm not doing that. We both want to go and whatnot and marry each other. And Jaehaer just took it the wrong way and drew his sword and went after Aeron. And Aeron, in self-defense, had to obviously fight back. He tried to spare Jaehaer as much as he could, but eventually got to the point where Jaehaer pushed Aeron so much to the point in combat that Aeron had no choice but to deliver the fatal blow and took his head off. And this didn't go very well. The Magister Lys, as you can imagine, is fucking fuming. And as is the High Magister, whose niece has just run off with a Targaryen. Well, they look as if she's been abducted by Aeron. This all looks pretty fucking bad on the Targaryen dynasty. But regardless, Aeron's happy. He's got the woman he loves and whatnot. So yeah, Aeron is a very interesting character. He was called the Cunning for a reason. But yeah, Aeron eventually did flee and arrived at the Stepstones, and this situation has really gotten badly. The three daughters are very much close to declaring war and demanding his head. They've sent several envoys to King Jaehaerys, and Jaehaerys, well, loves his son, Prince Aeron. Some would say he loves Aeron more than he does Prince Baelor, because of his cunning nature and whatnot. Jaehaerys thinks Baelor is too soft, and he will defend Aeron to the death. And Jaehaerys says, no, my son is in the right, and this, as you can imagine, is making the three daughters very pissed off, and is also making many of the lords of Westeros also not very happy. So, yeah, things are really kicking off and leading towards a big war. And that's the whole point of it. So Aeron, I really like Aeron to the point where I'm going to make him a very interesting character later on. If I get to the point where I like, depending on how things go, I may even possibly play as Aeron later down the line. Because just the way I've role-played and add so much story and depth to his character, Aeron is just so interesting. And yeah, I'd love to, and also the fact that he's like related to a pirates and like his sort of the, I guess, the natural pirate king and whatnot is just so interesting. Some of the vassals, we'll go over them. So Darius still in charge over here. Lord Harris is still here. We've got the Bolton dude in charge of the Northern Stepstones. And Lady Yormwood in charge of that. So I think, I don't know how she got in charge again. Not really sure though, but there you go. So moving on to other things nearer to home. So Aemond right now is still rivals with the king, so they did not get along. Aegon's still alive. He's 85. How he's still alive, I don't know. His wife got killed in the Duel of Honor by Lord Stokeworth, so I don't know what happened there. But I doubt that's really made the Stokeworth relationships very great. Aegon is now betrothed to a Lady of the Trident. Aegon's not too bad. He's still a bit of an imbecile, so he's not amazing, but yeah, so you got Aemond, who's got a bunch of kids. Sarah's married to that guy. Jaehaerys, who is the appointed successor. Still around, he's not the best warrior or anything really, but he's there. Vera is married to Jaehaerys. Oh, they're married together, right, okay. And Dana, who is the more competent person in the family, I suppose, out of Aemond's sons, really. You got Rhaena, yeah, that's fine. Jaehaerys, her line's all dead. Apart from I think they're all dead. So yeah, Aegon is still around. He still controls Cannibal, and I'll go for the dragons in a minute. But yeah, on to the Kingsguard. So a couple events kicked off in the Kingsguard. We had a few rebellions, which, well, that happened. Aaron rebelled, so we had them killed. Garrison murdered this woman, and as justice, he was fed to the dragon. That's sort of Jaehaerys' punishment, really. So more lords were fed to the dragon, other lords were fed to the dragon. So yeah, it's a big it's a massive thing. A lot of people were eaten by the dragon by Jaehaerys. So yeah, going over the Kingsguard. Didn't someone die in the Kingsguard? I think. Yeah. Yeah. So Selman died incapable, and you also had diarrhea as well. So Selman wasn't doing too great. And obviously Aemon died a while back. So Cassandra is now the Lady Commander of the Kingsguard, the first ever lady to be in charge of the Kingsguard. Yep. The Lady Commander, I suppose. Going over who's actually currently in the Kingsguard, we still have a debt to pay off. We're still working on that. So right now we've got Sir Aenys Royenford, who's still in the Kingsguard. He's been there for ages. Lady Commander Cassandra. Sir Walter of Oakenfield, who is related to... Is he related? No, I think it's just a random house. Okay. Nothing too special there. So Simon Bar Emmon also was appointed to the Kingsguard, so that keeps the Bar Emmons in line, I suppose. Is that his cousin? Where is it? Oh, right, okay. He's very distant cousin. Okay, right. So we've got Sandor Wayne, who's been the Kingsguard for a while. So Niles Westbrook, who currently has got the gout, so he's not too great. And Tywin, the Bastard of Blackrush, who's currently Aeron's protector. And Tywin's basically around and protecting Prince at the moment. At some point, when the rebellion kicks off, the Kingsguard will split into two halves. Depending on how I'm going to do it, there's going to be 4 Kingsguard on one side and 3 on the other. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go and who's going to go on what side. I'll have to see how I do when I set it up. Not many people love the king right now, so it'll be interesting to see how things go with the Kingsguard. Now, on to the dragon. On to dragon. So, Silverwing's still around. 160. Pretty good. Very old dragon now. So is Cannibal as well. Vhagar was 181, so not quite as old as Vhagar. Still not quite as old as Valyrian, but yeah. Silverwing could be the oldest living dragon ever, depending on how things go in the upcoming conflict. So Silverwing, the Shining Queen, is how she is known, which I really like that name. So Smaug is still around. So Smaug is in the possession of Varana right now. And they did have a dragon, Mir, but unfortunately Mir died sick and misshapen. So that wasn't very good. I think that was, I can't remember if we had the dragon egg of Smaug. I think, that was, is it Rhaena, I think? No, that's somewhere else, I think. Yeah, so, Smaug, still around. Cannibal, the Bloodfire, still in possession of Aegon for the time being, for now. And Calagon died a while ago. Spirax is still around, being ridden by Aemon right now. Heartfire, which is another dragon that was born recently. Quite good personal combat skill. Quite obedient and nimble, which is good. Quite good dragon there. Heartfire was tamed by Rhaena, my daughter. Also married to Rhaenyra right now. Moving over here a bit to the other dragons this side. So we've got... Oh, let's see, the Vhagar model, I suppose. But yeah, Morning, which has been ridden by Princess Baela. On this side of the Dragonstone Targaryens, which I'll have a name for. I was going to go like the black and the red, or something like the blacks, and then the blacks being this side of the family, with Jaehaerys, being the black dragon, and then Baela with the reds and whatnot, and then obviously you have the whites with the white dragon and the true drakes and whatnot. So I think I'll come up with names and stuff like that over the course of me creating the whole rebellion. But yeah, Morning, and you've got Caraxes, which is currently being in the possession of Lady Hera, which is Viserys's, well, one of his wives. So she currently rides Caraxes, which is interesting. I'm sure Viserys would prefer that dragon to be his, really, but there you go. So your morning got Firestorm, which has been ridden by Aegon himself. It's also in lovers with Morning. So it makes sense that both Baelor and Aegon both ride a dragon together. And then on to the dragons that are currently still over in Hardhome. They've been in Hardhome for a very long time. They have their own little family. You've got Moonshadow, you've got Senegon, and then you've got Tresix. Which at some point the dragons of Hardhome will come in handy during the... Well, will have play some part in the war. Why is it lagging like this? For God's sake. There we go. So yeah, there's plenty to kick off in this upcoming rebellion, which I'm very much looking forward to kicking it off. It's one of the things that's making me very excited to carry the series on. If it wasn't for this rebellion, I'd probably have just stopped playing this series already. But yeah, even though these rebellions are definitely me using the console commands to create them, I still think it's just interesting. It just makes the game so much more interesting. Rather than just like doing some even though it's damn right cheating, but doing some things and creating some events and whatnot and doing some stuff through console commands just makes the series so much interesting. And depends on how you're doing it really. But for a game like this, which definitely needs stuff, I would say, to really do things. It does really help. Oh yeah, the new council, we'll go for that. Dame Waters is the Hand of the King. Quite loyal, so it makes sense. Alicent's still Master of Laws. Aeryn is now the Master of Arms. Maegor Hataris is still Master of Coin. I think he's been Master of Coin for ages. She's still the Master of Whisperers. Matriarch Tiana is still alive, 84. Keep in mind she does have a mortal, but has like the pox and bloody flux, and yeah, she's not doing too great, but it's still sort of alive. Grand Mace Anne, I think it's been around for a while, and there's your commanders right now, which is all subject to change. I will name her High Almoner. Oh yes. So I gave Daro did this, but really the king appointed this because he wanted. Vagon had been bitching about titles for the last 200 years, so Jaehaerys was just like, fuck it, you know what? I'll name Rhaena as Lady of the West. And that way it should appease Daro, as Daro's heir is Rhaenyra, and they will inherit the land. Daro's not too happy because he had quite a lot of power until the king took it from him. And he's not too happy. His daughter is, his daughter. But he doesn't trust his daughter that much as Lady of the West. He wants the power for himself. And also, the Westlands has more troops than the Dornish right now. So, Dara's not happy. Lady Rhaenyra, who has, she's got skilled fighter, great eminence, quick, attractive, hedonist. Master Seductor is lustful, so her fertility is pretty high. She is still lovers with Vagon. But Vagon's a bit of a coward and whatnot. He's alright now. She's actually rivals with the Purple Hunts, which I forgot was still around. Oh yeah. The Senno is still around. So the Purple Hunts haven't quite died of old age just yet, which is good to see. I'm interested to see what the Purple Hunt family does at some point. But yeah, she holds that, which is interesting. They got on very well as lovers and whatnot, so that's good to see. Likely Rhaenyra has Vagon wrapped around her finger, really. So yeah. That's all I need to cover there, really. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this rebellion. It's something I want to do, and I want to do some interesting stuff, really, because I felt as if the game would just be very boring and sluggish if we don't start doing, like, really cool events, stuff like that. It's got, like, we can imprison if we want, but I'm saving that for later on. But yeah, it's certainly going to be fun. There's plenty of excitement to kick off fairly soon with this series, so it'll be quite enjoyable, I think. Oh, that's interesting. Alicent has died. Died natural death. No. A private funeral. Jaehaerys never really loved her that much. He's still widowed, but, he loved Taena more than he loved... But he did love Alicent for a while, but then eventually his love faded, and he fell in love with Taena a bit more, and... Yeah. So Alicent's now passed away. That's likely made Jaehaerys' stress and depression much, much worse. I'm going to quickly do a save here. Just because it is a bit laggy. But I don't know. I think it's just the game's a little old. We've been going for, like, what? How many years now? 61 years, I guess, the game's. struggling slightly. I mean, once we get to the yeah, once we get to the whole rebellion thing, that's when the game will... Well, after the rebellion, we'll probably have, like, the... Somerset? The Sunset Invasion that will kick off, so that'll be interesting. So the Sunset Invasion will keep us interested for a while. Be interesting to see what happens there. So we will definitely have to see. So when we get to the Sunset Invasion, I'll probably... After the Sunset Invasion... Depending on how things go afterwards, I will probably wrap it up there, I think. Or maybe I might possibly fit in another rebellion, maybe, like a top it up with a third, like thirds of charm with another Dance of Dragons scenario. But we'll have to see how this next one goes, really. Because it could go either way. Worst case scenario, the Targaryens, whoever I control, might get exiled and sent somewhere else, and maybe I might have to start. I would like to have Dealey take over the Summer Islands, but I'll have to see, really. I may or may not say that for another series, but we'll see. The Mud Dynasty, that series was going to be me taking... Ideally, for the Mud Dynasty, I want to take over Westeros, and I'll end it off there, probably. The Mud Dynasty, I don't want to keep going that long. I'm enjoying that series, but this I'm enjoying way more. And eventually, when this Targaryen series ends, and the Mud Dynasty ends, we'll be doing a new series set... Well, we've done the vote now, so... By the time you're watching this, I'm sure you're eagerly awaiting this new series. But we've done the vote, and you guys have pretty much voted. Right now, it's sort of a little bit half and half between... do you want me to do a Baron Landless or Custom House, or a High Lord, or play as some of the High Lords of the realm? So it's sort of neck and neck, really. So will take a little bit while till that eventually stands out as in the proper lead. So it'll take us a while till we eventually... decide fully on who we play. But in that scenario, we'll be obviously playing in Westeros and during the Aegon, well, not during Aegon's conquest, but a couple years after Aegon's conquest. So after he's now crowned as king and the realm is in some ways in peace. Dawn at that time is currently not in charge of, in control of the Targaryens, so Dawn is still like the only independent kingdom right now. In that setting, so that'd be quite fun to play as. I don't quite know who we'll play as, but we'll see. Yeah, whatever. So that'd be quite interesting. Oh, Lady Laura Wellwater has died. Who's Arsa? Arsa Ashwood. Were we really... Why would we fall in love with her? Wouldn't we just fall in love with my... I guess it doesn't take the fact... yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're depressed anyway. But now he's drunkard, so King Jaehaerys is just... It's not going well, is it? Oh, dear. Yeah, Jaehaerys will definitely be gone down in history as the Black Dragon. Nope, okay. Move down here and fight to these guys. Hang on a minute, we haven't set our dragon off yet. Oh no, can we not? Oh, we can. Yeah, Jaehaerys makes full use of Silverwing a lot. Because why the hell not? Alright, we'll storm Thorin's Cross. Oh, we've captured him. The Bloodfire's little rebellion didn't go quite well, did it? Forfeit Bloodfire Cross. Don't need that, but there you go. Oh, she's got him imprisoned. Can I not have us or my... I have no idea. Jaehaerys in his old age decided to try and seduce this woman. Or Cassandra, that'd be interesting. A warrior, but yeah, whatever. Jaehaerys is old and, you know, he doesn't... He's still widowed, but he... As for Bloodfire Cross, who'd we give that to, I suppose? Well, she's got him in prison anyway. Melees, I suppose? He does control Drunkard Tower, but that can always... layer on. Hmm. And now we debate on who we give it to, I suppose. I can't ask for them to be released. Actually, I can if I do this. No, I need to be at peace first. Let's kill these guys off first. Let's move into this place. I'm gonna deploy the dragon. Oh wow. Okay, the high tower, well, he just about survived that one. Yeah, he's dead. He's killed by Jairus' dragon, so he just burnt. Oh, Jairus has been Sylvian's been wounded, that's not good. Hmm. This war is a necessary one, but the heart is aching worse than any wounds of war might inflict upon me. For my love. The campers are lacking. No. Oh, what's that? Oh, Doom. Who's. Oh, Silverwing. Oh, right, he had a dragon, didn't he? He had the dragon egg. Oh, he's got Doom. That's interesting. Doom. I'm going to rename that dragon. Right, what have we gone for all the... Oh, no, we haven't. Glaurung, that's it. I'm trying to give him some Lord of the Ring themes named, because why not? Glaurung, I think? Just because I'm paranoid as shit that I'm going to spell it wrong. I'm going to look that up quickly. I think it's Glaurung. I think I would spell it right. So I'm pretty sure if I look it up now, it should hopefully be Glaurung. The father of dragons. Yeah, that's right. Nice. Hopefully it looks, well, like the... Oh, he's a 60 dragon. That's not good. That's not good. But we won the war here. Okay. For the 3 months, you'll be able to nominate anyone as your preferred successor. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Well, we'll have him killed. Dragon. So can we, like... What's that mean then? What's that map mode? Why is that a map mode? I have no idea. Can we not make possibly the Tuyana as the possible, like... No, I don't think we can. I don't think we can do that unless we're like... I mean, it says that they've already got the next high septum. Oh, it's an old flowers. Interesting. Cool. Maylord's gone to exile. I don't know why I couldn't have the option to bring him back, but whatever. We give Vhagar blood for our cross, and I'll try and educate the kid if I can. Give him martial education. And we get to next year, I think. Vagon hates me again. For fuck's sake, Vagon. I mean, look at this. Vagon fucking hates me, but he's a... Oh my god, so stupid. Next CK2 playthrough, we're going to turn off the people demanding titles thing off. It's so silly. We're going to seduce this woman and round off, I think. Then the next episode will be, well, the Civil War will begin. Aegon for the Iron Throne, Crown Loyalist, like it's all ramping up, it's all kicking, it's all starting. Verano wants the throne, like, it's all, what the fuck happened to Beyond the Wall? Oh, for fuck's sake. What the fuck happened up here? Did the Night's Watch just rebel against the throne? Why is he a republic? What? Okay. I guess the Night's Watch just broke free. Whatever, okay. I guess maybe they had a meeting with the king and Jaehaerys just agreed to, well, actually maybe. And this might go into a potential problem that perhaps Morano oh, hang on, I've got an idea. I've got an idea. Morano actually dissolved the Night's Watch himself to try and keep the wildlings out of Beyond the Wall. Maybe. That's the idea. Possibly. Maybe that's all part of Morano's scheme. And Morano's return to Cracklaw Point. And wishes to hold a grand feast at King's Landing in honour for the king. That's give me an idea, actually. That's give me an idea of how I can... Yeah, Morano wishes to explain, or Jaehaerys wants Morano to explain his actions, and Morano gladly obliges. And Morano offers, perhaps, he will explain his actions if the king would in turn offer a grand feast at the Red Keep. Perhaps to introduce his son as the future king on the Iron Throne and whatnot. Maybe that's what will happen. Maybe Morano definitely wants to. He almost wants. I don't know if he wants the king to leave, but he almost want to host like and Jaehaerys' friend Morano and Morano has spoken with the king and he wishes for him to host a grand feast. And of course, Jaehaerys isn't too happy about the idea that Morano has dissolved. Well, he doesn't know that Night's Watch has been dissolved. So what we've been seeing now is all sort of a secret. Morano's set up a Night's Watch as a barrier to keep the wildlings out, so the wildling forces can't interfere with anything that goes on in the realm. And that's the idea. So we don't know anything about that, but Morano has convinced King Jaehaerys to perhaps to do to hold a grand feast in the realm. Perhaps to celebrate, I'm not really sure, what would they be celebrating, to be honest, now that I think about it. Maybe just celebrate the fact of, Baelor being Baelor's official marriage, possibly? Yeah, that could work. Yeah, maybe what I might do is wait for Jaehaerys to be married to Braina, and then what I'll do is I'll hold a feast, and ooh, I have an idea. I'll hold this big feast, have the wedding, and afterwards, the rebellion kicks off at a wedding. Oh, that could be great. That could be brilliant. Oh, that's awesome. I love that idea. Okay, let's hope that none of my characters and stuff die before then, so I can set up the rebellion and whatnot. Is the idea. Oh, fuck, Glaron died. Bollocks. Baines. Yeah, can we get a better name than that? Have we had... Oh, Daenerys. Yeah. Or Rhaenys, actually. Yeah, we haven't had the Rhaenys, actually, here. In his family. So, yeah, Rhaenys. Unfortunately, he's pretty crazy. There you go. And now we're, oh, fuck. If it will let me click on it, thank you. I'm gonna go profound, that's fine. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll wait for the wedding to kick off, and then I'll sit off there, maybe. But again, wouldn't it, like, have it so the wedding's actually at Highgarden? Maybe, yeah. Because Jaehaerys would go to Highgarden for the wedding, but maybe we'll say lore-wise that the wedding is being taking place at the Red Keep because, you know, Jaehaerys is the future heir to the throne. Yeah, maybe we'll have it like that. Maybe we'll have it set up like that, I suppose. Let's see. Because I could wait to... It depends on what I'm going to play as Aaron, really. I don't know if I... Do I? It's difficult. I don't know if I should stop playing now or carry on to the point where there's like a wedding feast. I don't have to, like... It doesn't have to be like... I don't have to wait till they're 14, both 14, to do the wedding. I can just, like, host a betrothal feast or whatever. I can say law-wise that they're having the wedding feast, like, early or something. I don't have to, like, wait till they're 14. So I can just do it early if I wanted to. I think I might. So I think what I'm going to do is stop playing now. And I'm going to slowly but surely set up this rebellion that's going to kick off. I think, yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I think it's set. The rebellion is going to kick off. It's set. Jaehaerys is the Black Dragon. He's done a lot of shit going on. He's drunk. He's become two friends with Morano. And now the time is coming for where it's all going to blow up in his face. And a great big civil war is going to kick off. Maybe that's what I'm going to do, I think. You know, Grolaf wants independence of the wildlings and all that. He wants it now. He has a bargaining chip for the Targaryens if war breaks out. And if the Targaryens or Jaehaerys or any of the factions want dragons, Jaehaerys can give Jaehaerys dragons over at Hardhome. He's got 3 dragons somewhere in Hardhome. Where are they? It's in here somewhere, I think. He's got 3 dragons in the outskirts of Hardhome, that's sort of in the area that Grolaf can use as a bargaining chip almost. We'll help you in the war, we'll give you dragons, whatnot, and you'll give us our independence. Mega is definitely loyal, I'd say, to the well, I say Trueborn throne, Trueborn lineage. So that'd be Jaehaerys' line. So Jaehaerys' side, so that'd be his. So I guess the blacks and the whites, I suppose, would be a good. I don't want to copy too much from the Targaryens, really. I guess really it makes sense for these guys to be the reds and the whites. The True Drakes and the Targaryens, Dragonstone, and the whites. The Targaryens here in the crown to be the reds, maybe? Yeah. Although it does make sense to call the Black Dragon because of... Yeah, we'll see how it goes, really. I might change the names, we'll see. Mega could definitely take the side of the current rightful rulers, I suppose. Being Jaehaerys' line. The Sunderlands, it's difficult to say, really. She does like the throne right now. But possibly that could change with Jeremy being married and whatnot. Be related to Aegon and all that. The Blacktides remember who granted them the Iron Isles, so it's definitely possible to say that Benarin would remember that. The Muds are quite loyal to the thrones, and also Joes is married to, well, bastard of the Targaryens, so yeah. And the Muds have always been traditionally quite loyal to the throne. Aemond definitely is going to oppose us and take the side of Aegon, definitely. Casper probably will take the side of Aegon and his side. Daro, difficult to say. The Rhaenyras possibly could split into 2, where Rhaenyra might take one side and Daro would take the other. Difficult to say. Rhaena, the Targaryens over at Highgarden, would likely take the side of probably Aegon. No, Jaehaerys, sorry, not Aegon. They'd probably take the side of Jaehaerys because of Jaehaerys. Well, my grandson's going to marry Rhaena and all that. That's going to kick off. Yeah, and obviously Aeron will, of course, join with his father or brother, depending on who's alive. We'll see. The Night's Watch, I think we're probably just going to let the Night's Watch do as they are. I'm not going to bother reconquering them at all. I don't know if I even can anyway. So I'm going to leave the Night's Watch as they are. Westwatch is still a ruin. This is all now under the Night's Watch. So it's back in charge, really. I don't know what's happened. I think it's become like a republic or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, we'll see. And the 3 daughters will likely get involved because they want... they definitely want... is it this guy? Yeah, they definitely want vengeance for the death of... well... He definitely wants vengeance for the death of his son. Well, bastard's son. And the 3 daughters want revenge. The fact that his niece has been taken by the... Well, as some might call him, the Pirate King at the moment. Other lords in the realm might get involved. Volantis is currently owned by the Valeros. Maybe they might get involved. Volantis might involve themselves somewhat. I can't remember if the Fassar line is involved anymore. House Rogier's not in power. Are they? I think they... I don't know if they're in charge of Lys at all. I don't think so, no. No, they don't hold lease at all. So Rogero is basically all in Dawn now. Let me find, not Roger, well, he's in the Tower of Hound. I don't think they hold any territories in Essos anymore, I don't think. Oh, no, no. Oh, Valeros, no. Yeah, Volantis is just like, I don't know what the fuck's happened here, but it's just all over the place. Pentos could possibly get involved. Bravos may involve itself. A lot of, like, the lords in Essos could involve themselves and might choose one side to get better trade. And the three daughters desire the Stepstone, so they probably join with Aegon, which would make sense. So yeah, and some of the lords here might also get involved too. Stokeworth did kill Aegon, Aegon's wife, so maybe it's hard to say, but Bloodfire might get involved and join with us. Some of the other lords might oppose us, that ones that don't really like us. So yeah, it's interesting to see what happens. Maybe the lords that revoked lands and titles off before, like Darkling, might try and take back their territories again. It's interesting. The Stone Dance could do something. The Celtic Guards can make a move one side or the other. And so can the Tollards, who, well, what the hell's Valyrian? Are they all dead? Valyrian. Oh, one of my rivals. Of the Kitchen Keep. So I guess Valyrian probably isn't... They've lost a lot of stuff. There's not many Valyrians left at all. What about any of, like... Well, they're all dead as well. So Corlys' line is gone. What about Vaemon's lines? Oh, we've got some, but they're over there. Daemon's over in Celtigar. Yeah, there's not many Valyrians left, which is quite sad, really. But yeah, it's certainly very interesting to see what will happen. How the Civil War will kick off. What will the High Septon do of all people? Although I can't really control the High Septon, so the High Septon will have to be... Well, I guess loyal to Jaehaerys, because he... Well, protecting him from enemy. When did we do that? No idea. Is anything else going on here? Looking to flames, go out, or like sigil? No. The loan is still hanging over us, so perhaps Aegon could offer ourselves to the Iron Bank to say, oh look, I've got the if you help me, if you back me and take out my relatives, I will repay the loan. Or yeah. I'm interested to see what side the Kingsguard go. And also what side, who gets what dragon and what side the dragons taken in the war. You know, will these wild dragons get involved? Will Theon Stark hatch his dragon egg and the Baptist Starks will rise in rebellion? Will Grolaf eventually hatch his dragon from Smaug, as if Caraxes here and Heartfire? Little dragons may get involved as well. Like, it's all going to be very interesting. And I'm very excited to kick this off. But anyway, that's all for this episode. Next episode, well, I'll be doing a bit of stuff off camera, and hopefully today the rebellion will kick off, which will be very exciting. If not, I'll do it tomorrow and set up for tomorrow. I know a lot of some people may not be too keen on the idea of me doing this. Perhaps setting up random events like this and like out of the story. But keep in mind, if we didn't do any of this right now, the series would die. It would be very, very, very boring. And it just won't be very interesting at all. Like, it won't be fun. Like, if we carry on as normal, nothing will happen. There may be the odd rebellion, but, like, the chance of it actually happening is very slim. So it's just not, I can't see it happening anytime soon. Like, I can't see a rebellion happening on its own. Like, if I want to do something and make this series interesting, then I'm going to have to do it via console commands and just get involved in the series myself. Rather than just leaving it down to the AI and chance, which realistically, not a lot's going to happen. Like, if we don't actually do anything. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's why really we need to look at, like, doing some custom events in not just this series, but, like, all CK2 series going forward. It's alright keeping some things going normal and, like, some things might happen on their own. But when you get to a certain point where you're quite powerful, it gets to the point where the game's just way too easy. Like, if I carried on as normal, Jaehaerys would die of old age eventually, Baelor would become king, I would sail up to Hardhome, say if Silverwing, the dragon, dies, get the dragon from Hardhome, and that'd be it. And look how many kids he's got. He's got plenty of kids to keep the line going. To the point where, like, we're just in such a solid position there where nothing's going to, like, really get in the way and stop us, really. Like, it's just not going to happen. And I can't keep this series going unless something interesting kicks off. Like, right now, not a lot is happening. Like, really isn't. So yeah, it does get to the point where I'm pushed to do something. Otherwise, the series would just be boring, and I would have ended this series ages ago. If I wasn't setting up this rebellion, this series probably would have been wrapped up ages ago. Probably, I probably would have just carried on as normal, skipped ahead a bunch of years until we got to the Sunset Invasion, do the Sunset Invasion, and after that, I would have probably reviewed the options, maybe plan a bit longer, and then probably would have wrapped the series sometime after that. Whether or not, and this depends on how it goes, but I may or may not possibly do a cadet branch. May or may not use the same save to carry on as a different house in the same save, maybe. But to be honest, I'd like to sort of just move. It's alright doing what you're doing with a save and taking the save file and just returning and maybe coming back to the same sort of series and characters that we sort of left off at, but like with a different house. But I think with this, I kind of like want to move on after we've done this series. I may wait to the White Walkers, but I think the Sunset Invasion will be the last big massive war we'll face, and after then, I'm pretty sure the series can end nicely. The Mud Dynasty, I want to ideally take over most of Westeros, and then I'll sort of wrap the series up there. And I kind of just want to move on to other series. Like if I did say I possibly might take the Summer Islands. Maybe I might save that, might do this in this series, we'll see, depending on how things go. Or I might save it for another series where we actually start in this area. We'll see, maybe. Perhaps as a Dragon Conqueror, like a Valyrian noble that's fled the Doom, or someone, or maybe somebody from another timeline, possibly like, I don't know, maybe instead of the Blackfires trying to take the throne from Daeron the Good, they actually went south and just carved out their own empire in the Summer Islands. Yeah, or maybe Aemond One Eye decide to fly off and do his dragon conquest with Vhagar, make his own kingdom. Like maybe Maegor the Cruel, instead of holding on to trying to take the throne from Aenys, would have gone off and become the king, try and forge the new Valyrian Empire or something in Essos with Valyrian the Black Dread. But yeah, there's plenty of things we could have done that could just be that I'd like to ideally save some things for different series rather than like, okay, if I want to, I could just conquer the entire world with Jaehaerys or his ancestors and make the empire of the world basically, but that just doesn't sound interesting at all. And I'd be bored out of my mind conquering the world, let alone carrying on afterwards, because we'd just be so unstoppable that it just wouldn't be fun. So yeah, I think really it is a good idea to do series and make custom events happen in these series, because otherwise it'd just be so boring. There wouldn't be much going on, and it'd just be pretty dull. So I think it's good to add something to the story, and even though it's cheating, it does keep the series going. It makes it interesting. It makes us more of a proper story going on. Like, it just makes the game so much more interesting. If you've got like a running thing going on, it just really does. So yeah. On that note there, I think we're ending this episode off here. Next episode, the Civil War begins, and I'll do my best to explain everything in little detail that's kicking off to lead up to this rebellion. Hopefully I can set it up properly. It will involve a lot of heavy console command stuff, so whether or not I might just do something else tonight, I'm leave up for tomorrow, but we'll see. But anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and farewell.